Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about community helpers. But before we can begin, we need to know what a community is. A community is made up of different groups of people who live and work together. It has rules and laws that people must follow, and the people work together to solve their problems. We are going to talk about, in alphabetical order, some of the most important community helpers. Let's begin. Our first community helper is a baker. A baker is someone who makes a variety of foods, such as breads, pies, cakes, cupcakes, cookies, and pastries. Many consider a baker to be part scientist and part artist. A baker measures ingredients, makes and shapes dough, manages the baking process, and sometimes decorates the product. Once the ingredients are put into the oven, there is no second chance to mix it. Therefore, bakers must measure the ingredients and the process with a high degree of precision. Bakers are responsible for keeping the ingredients fresh and making recipes to the preference of their customers. Bakers have to work long hours. Sometimes to serve the freshest food, bakers begin their day as early as 3 a.m. to have the treats ready by the time the store opens. If it wasn't for a baker, how would we have food to eat? Bakers are very important in the community and are considered a very prestigious community helper. The next community helper we are going to learn about is a construction worker. In our community, there are often many times where buildings, roads, and bridges are in need of repair work. This is the job of a construction worker. Construction workers use a variety of tools and machines to work with different building materials. Some of the tasks that construction workers would perform on include cement, concrete, sand, paint, electrical equipment, loading and unloading materials, helping to repair and wreck structures, or using other tools to build and deconstruct buildings. Construction workers maintain a 40-hour work week, working on various job sites for certain periods of time. If it wasn't for construction workers, how would we have things repaired? They are very important in our community. Our next community helper is a dentist. Dentists treat patients' teeth and oral tissues, providing corrective and preventive care. They instruct us how to properly brush, floss, diet, and properly care for our teeth and gums. It is important to maintain regular checkups with your dentist so that you know that you are always in good oral health. Perhaps the most important role of a dentist is to make the patient feel confident about their smile. In my community, I always want to see people smile. Without a dentist, this would not be possible. Our next community helper is a doctor. A doctor is someone who specializes in medicine and monitors our health and body. It is important to schedule regular visits with your doctor so that you always know how your body is doing. The doctors are responsible for checking for disease, injury, and other physical and mental impairments. There are many different types of doctors in many different fields. There are doctors for different bones, for skin, for eyes, all types of different doctors. If we didn't have doctors, how would we make the sick feel better? This is what the doctor's job is. Thank a doctor if you ever see one in your community. Moving on to our next community helper, we are going to talk about a farmer. To make a living, farmers must decide what and where to raise plant crops and livestock. Every day they go into their barns and fields, and they will raise and harvest enough crops and livestock to feed their families through the winter and also sell their products to the community. Farmers have a very long day, waking up at 4 a.m. and not completing till around midnight. Farmers are very important to our community because they provide us the essential crops and other materials we need to survive. Thank you, farmer. Our next community helper is a firefighter. Firefighters are in charge of maintaining the extremely hazardous conditions of a fire. They protect us when this happens. A firefighter's duties range from saving lives to keeping firefighting equipment clean. At any moment's notice, a fireman must be ready to perform job functions such as rescuing people or animals from burning or collapsed buildings, fighting fires, and providing emergency medical assistance. The next time you see a fire, don't worry. The firefighters are on the way, and that's why they are very important community helpers. Next for our community helpers is the mailman. A mailman is responsible for making sure that the mail reaches its destination. A mailman sorts and delivers mail on a route by either vehicle or on foot. A mailman often works outdoors and delivers mail in almost any type of weather. Their days begin at almost 4 in the morning. Overtime hours are typically required. The next time you go out to your mailbox, remember that the community helper, the mailman, did his job and delivered it to you. The next community helper is a police officer. A police officer's job is to enforce the law. They protect the life and property of people, and that is considered the most important role of a police officer. They work long, hard hours to always make sure that we are protected. They have to also tackle emergency situations. The next time you are in your community and see a police officer, remember to say thank you for protecting me. There are many of them, and they love to do their job. The final community helper we will talk about is the teacher. A teacher's job is to identify the needs of individual students in their classes and work to help each child develop at his or her own potential. From the kindergarten level to 12th grade and beyond to college, teachers are here to help us learn. Thank you, all the teachers in our community. This concludes the digital story on community helpers. Remember when you are walking around in your community to thank all the different types of people that help us. Also remember that you can be a community helper too when you grow up. Thank you for listening.